98FM's Dublin Talks.
With Adrian Kennedy.
We're live every morning from 10. Only on 98FM.
I'm about to talk to a lady whose voice we are running through our voice disguiser because of the story she's about to tell. At the age of 8, this lady was abused by a distant relative. But she, and as per our conversation, she has often thought of exacting her revenge since she had her own children. Katie, welcome to 98FM.
Thank you, Adrian.
As I said, we've changed your name and we've put your voice through our voice disguiser. Tell me a bit about your story without identifying your abuser.
Okay, well, I was 8 years old and it was a distant relative, and I adored this person because of the other relative that was involved and that they were married to. And I've known this person since my mother was pregnant with me. So I've known them all of my life. And when I was 8, then he sexually abused me, and I didn't understand at the time what it was. Genuinely didn't. I thought, what is he doing? This is wrong. He shouldn't be doing this, but I have to tell Mum and Dad. And during one of the incidents, he warned me. He said, I will kill you and I will hurt your family if you tell them anything. And I lived with that for years, and he'd done it over 4 or 5 years. And I couldn't tell anyone. I was terrified of anything happening. Not me, my mum and dad. That's all I kept thinking. And after a while then, as I got older, I put it at the back of my mind. I tried to block it out. I didn't want to think about it. I wanted to try and get on with my life. But it affected me in school. I was never confident. I never wanted to be, the playful child, play with my friends. I was always very different. And as I got older then, I met my partner, and things got a little bit easier because he was so caring. But when I had my first child, that's when it all hit me. And I thought to myself, oh my God, how can I prevent this happening to my child? And I have my child wrapped up in cotton wool. But it's not as easy as, like he's turned around saying that I can't think of the man's name that was on about that it's the parents' fault. I adore my parents. My parents knew nothing about this because they trusted this person, just like you send your child to school. And the teacher, you could turn around and say, oh, they're safe in school. The teacher could be doing it the same way. How are you ever meant to know?
And that was the point I was making to that man a couple of minutes ago, that you can't know where your children are 24/7. It's just impossible. You just can't.
No, you have to be careful with who you leave them with, as in family members, even if you have to tip to the shop and get a neighbour to mind your child, that kind of thing. But you can't always have eyes on them. It's not possible. But you try and bring them up, letting them know that I have done it with my kids, that you do not go off with strangers. You know the usual thing, don't go off with strangers. And if anyone tells you to do something you think is wrong, you do not do, you run. And you tell me everything. Now, my family would never have been like that. We were always a very quiet family. If you have a problem, my mother and father aren't great with dealing with problems. So, but I went for counselling. I had to because I had severe suicidal issues. And I was going to leave my kids. I have 2 kids now. I was going to leave them with my partner and just disappear because I couldn't handle it.
And as regards the person who abused you, do you still see this person? Do you know where this person is?
I know where the person is. They're still together as a couple. They're in a foreign country, but I don't have anger towards the person. I would often think I would love to get him back at times for the ruination of my life. But I think I'm the better person to turn around and say, no, I'm not letting him ruin my life. I'm not going to allow him do it to me. And when I went for counselling, it all came out and it was far easier to deal with it. And I told my mother and I told my partner. But I could not tell my father. This is the point of coming to about the parents. If I told my father, he would have killed him. He definitely would have killed him because my father he'd have a temper, but he definitely would have killed him. And I could not do that to my father. I couldn't break his heart. But I said I would be the better person. There is no heroes. There is no heroes. This is not like a comic book that this person is the hero and this person. There's no heroes. There's just stronger people.
So, to this man who sent me in the message in the first place, you've even admitted that you couldn't tell your own father. This father happens to know. He feels anger when he sees this man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel it every time I see the person. I feel anger, but you know what I feel? I feel sorrow. I actually feel sorrow for the person because they are mentally ill. There is something very wrong with them. There's a bit of sorrow looking at them thinking, my God, what have you gone through to do this to someone? You know, and I have found out his background, and it's diabolical. He was mentally abused. He wasn't sexually, but he was physically abused and harmed in a really bad way. And that's where my sorrow comes in to think, my God, like, what has he gone through as well? And I do have anger. I'll always have it, but I try and deal with it the best way I can.
Nice to talk to you, Katie. Your advice to this father is just leave it be.
No, my advice would be, I regret not telling everybody sooner, so it could have been sorted, because this man could have kids of his own. And this is going to happen to the next line of kids, and it could continue. I do believe that it should come out, and the person who has done it should be named and shamed and save other kids from being hurt from the same person. I don't believe...
One of the reasons that they didn't want it to go to court is for their child, primarily.
For their child, but you have to think, this is the way I think, in years to come will the child turn around and say, but you knew about it and you done nothing about it. This is the way I kind of felt towards my parents, even though I didn't tell them. I would never blame them, but I would say I should have told them, and I know they probably wouldn't have done anything about it. But we always should tell what the problem is, and it should be sorted. There should be justice.
What would you say to that person who abused you as an 8-year-old child if he happened to be listening to this radio station now? If
he was listening, I would say that I forgive him. I do forgive him for what he done. I understand that it's not a normal it's not a normal person who thinks like we do. Like, I would never harm a child. I'd never, ever even contemplate even slapping my child, never mind anything like that. But to think for a minute what he has done to my life, and that he will get his comeuppance someday. So something will happen to him someday, and it'll all come back and hit him.
It's very big of you to say you've forgiven him.
I actually do. I do, because I understand. Since I went for counselling, I find that I'm understanding people a lot better. I would have been a very angry person, really, really bad-tempered, and just horrible to live with. But since I went for counselling, I began to understand people for their problems as well.
Good to talk to you, Katie. Thanks very much indeed.
98FM's Dublin Talks.
With Adrian Kennedy.
We're live every morning from 10. Only on 98FM.